We'll start with.
Just a minute, sir. It's still buffering.
Okay,
Yeah,
so
so you can
it's
start.
not just the instrument and the hand. It is the whole body that gets involved into working. So you have to get into a posture, and sometimes you may have to stay in a posture for a longer time. So what we do is we have to have a convenient workspace to work in. And right now, because we are giving you a demo, I'll show you. Uh, this table is something which we can adjust the height. Okay, so when you go to buy a drafting table, like someone had asked this question, you can see there is a whole setup where we can increase the height, we can uh, change, lift the table up, and then again fix it to a higher height, and we can also change the angle. So on the other side, we have the option to open up, change the angle, and then fix it. So the angle at which we are working can be fixed. Okay. For convenience of showing it to you, we have put up a camera, and therefore we have adjusted this at a lower height. Usually in architectural studios, the seating is such that it is a little higher. So your leg is not bent, and your no part of the body is under stress. Okay, so a higher stool would allow you, to not exactly be in too much of, relax, and not too much stress. So the table height is also in such a way that it is closer to your eye, you can see it clearly, and so the table height is usually a little much closer to you, and that is how in all architectural studios you will see it like that. So when you buy, you have to see to it that your table is adjustable. Okay, and it is the whole structure that is involved. The whole steel system is not something very flexible. Now over time it should not become something that is movable. It will become very loose. It should not become loose. It has to be something very stiff. So that was about table, and the seating posture also. Sometimes we, in offices, usually we have comfortable chairs, but in studios we have only stools, so we do not even have a backrest. Okay.
Yeah, sorry for that.
Okay. So, the seating height has to be such that you are closer to the surface at which you are working. Sometimes the lines that we are drawing are too close to each other, so we should be able to see them. Okay. So we have to be closer. In fact, when faculty is there or someone is looking at your drawing, you would be walking around in the studio looking at your drawing. So the table height should not be so low. It should be at a height at which the person who is monitoring your work does not have to bend too much to see. It has to be closer to his eye level as well. So, and I suggest that you get into that, setup right away, because you will not have to, switch again to a studio mode when you're doing it. So you should already have a table which is at a little more closer to your eyes. We are doing this setup, therefore, this is a little lower, but usually it should be a little higher. Okay, and you should ensure that there is good light quality. Preferably, the light should be from top and not closer to your head, but farther from the head, so that the light comes towards you. Otherwise, if the light is above you, your own shadow will fall on the sheets. Or when you are working or drawing, it is the shadow of your hand which may cover the part of the drawing where you are working. So the light should be, if you are a right-handed, the light should be little to the left-hand side of you and in the front of you. Okay, rather than back or towards the light. So we have to ensure that. In fact, there are these lighting arrangements at home when you are setting up your own workspace. You can have an adjustable lighting, something that you can you can bring closer, or you can lift farther. So have these adjustable lamps which are available, you can use them. Otherwise, when you're working in the daytime, it is ideal that you are closer to an opening. There is nice environment around and good lighting, natural lighting. Okay. So now we'll move to the table. Okay, when you look at the table, the tables are of different sizes. Alternate to table is a drawing board. Okay, the drawing boards are of different sizes. Because sheets are of different sizes, and many for different purposes, drawing boards are different people may use. Civil engineers may also use for smaller size sheets when they work on. Artists also use drawing boards. But when we are working, we have to have a drawing board that can suit to the maximum size of the sheet that we work on. We work on sheets sometimes as big as A0 size. Okay, it may not be for exactly very academic purposes, but for competitions we do sheets which are very big. And ideally this size of table is best suited. I think Sandeep sir has told you the sizes. But when we are working on drafting boards, these boards we don't have a place to keep them. So usually if it is a horizontal table, we simply put it on the table. And or if you put some arrangements to keep it at some angle closer so that the drawing becomes closer to you. In that case, the support system that you put may not be very permanent, and therefore the table will not always be in a very fixed position. It will be moving, so it's not very ideal condition to work in that way. And I remember when we were working in colleges, in hostels, we used to have our own drafting boards other than the drafting table that we had in our studios. So these drafting boards, sometimes we used to put it on our lap. So we are sitting on bed and we are folding our legs and putting our so it is, you are very close and intimate. That thing is very important, to be very close to a board. You have control of your board. You know what is happening. Whether if the board is falling because of gravity towards the other direction, you use your own body to control the board. That is important. Okay, so don't rely on external things, but take care of them on your own. Be handling them.
Sorry guys, tea break here for us. Just a quick around of the table once again for you to understand. As important as is the table, the important is stool also. You can't drag your living room chair, kitchen chair or something to start drafting. Make sure you buy both together and after understanding the right proportions for your body, not what market says, what is good for you. You choose as per that, measure it, and then go buy that. Both are equally important. They come as together, they are not separate things.
So,
Definitely not a regular would do the job.
so what size is that table?
Sorry, this
What is the
table is the
size?
biggest one. This is the elephant size one.
Okay.
Yeah. So the brown is somewhere closer to your bigger A1 size sheet, and the smaller one is A3 size sheet. If you want to understand the proportions right on the camera. Yeah, Vivek sir is back, refreshed, ready for the thing.
So on a table, usually when we buy a new table, it is in a good condition and there is no problem working with the table. The surface is smooth and in fact it is coated with a layer of plastic. You can remove it and then fix up the sheets. But when you are in the studio, many students have used the same board and it may not be in a very good condition because it may have been used in a wrong way. Like people have used it to cut paper and there may be markings on this, or there is glue or other things on the table which is making it very not good for use. So one thing is we add another sheet on top of the table, okay, which is like a, what do you call it, backing sheet. Okay, so this sheet, for example, in this case we have used a thick, not very thick sheet, but we can use a thick sheet so that the undulation which is there underneath is taken care of. Okay, so it becomes uniform surface and smooth surface, and it is dust is also not there. One thing is that you should know on daily basis you should be cleaning your table, so you should have a towel or a piece of cloth with you, and together with the cloth, you should use some spirit. This spirit which is used for medicinal purpose, for in hospitals, for what? For, I think for operations, for keeping the tools clean, the equipment clean, they use it. So we use the spirit for ourselves also. We don't have it today, but all these tea squeals, when we are using them on daily basis, and if some eraser is there or some dust is there or even graphite, it gets to the bottom and then it gets stuck. So we have to put that spirit, and with a piece of cloth we have to rub over time so that this becomes clean, because this is going to run over the sheet many times. So if it is not clean, you'll see that it will make some marking on the table, on the sheet. Okay, now, so we fix up a sheet. Okay, in this case, we have not fixed up the sheet. The sheet is just very free here. The other thing is, depending on the paper size. Okay, if you are working on a big sheet, the sheet will come, bigger, in a bigger space. So you'll see that sometimes the sheet may be bigger than your T scale itself. Okay, so when you are buying a T scale, you should see to it that your T scale is, bigger than 85 centimeter. There are T scales which are 1 meter that you can buy. But the most common T scales are of this size, which is around 80 centimeter. This will just fall short of one A1 size sheet, but it will just fit on an APL sheet also. Okay, so I think if you are not able to get 1 meter size scales, 80 centimeter would be enough. And accordingly, we occupy the space of the table, what space we are using. So the sheet is bigger, it will go farther to the right side, but the left side it has to be closest to the edge. Okay, we'll tell you why the sheet has to be closer to the edge. You can see we have put the sheet at just around 1 inch from the edge of the table, so it is very very close. Now, we could have put our sheet farther, like somewhere here, but unlike that, we are putting it closer to the edge, and we'll discuss why we are doing that. Also, you'll see that we'll put our sheet closer to us. No, we are not putting the sheet somewhere farther from us, but closer to us, because in that case, it will be, we will not have to bend so much to reach further. So when it is one A1 size sheet, one has to go farther to reach there to draw. Okay. So, okay, in this case, we are taking example of one A3 size sheet. We may, if we are using one A1 size sheet, it will be little more difficult to handle. And sometimes you do not get sheets of specific sizes, so you have to cut the sheets on your own. And when you are cutting the sheets, we should not be, folding the sheet to cut. Okay, there is this technique, all of us know, that we bend the sheet, we fold it, we create a marking, and then we tear it, or using a cutter, we just slice. But that is not a very ideal way, because then we do not have a proper edge of the sheet. Okay, the neatness is very important. When we are talking about a technical drawing, we have to be very technical at doing anything that we do with the drawing. So when we are cutting it, we have to measure, and what is the technique of cutting a sheet, we will discuss in a model making class. And we do not cut by folding. That is all I need to say. While we are cutting, we use a steel scale and we use a cutting mat. In a model making class, we'll discuss that. Okay, so I think we can switch to drawing. We have to see to it that the sheet is aligned to the table and to the instruments. You can see right now. Is it visible? All of you can see this?
Yes, sir, it's visible.
Yes, sir.
Okay. So you can see, we can, if we had to start, we could simply, put up the sheet and we could have started the work. But what would happen is, our drawing may come at some angle with the edges of the paper. Okay. We don't want that. No? So we have to ensure that our sheet is in alignment with the, our drawing, the content of the drawing is in alignment with the paper. Okay. So when we are putting our sheet, we have to ensure that the sheet is at parallel and perpendicular to the instruments and to the table. Okay. So you'll see after putting the sheet, I have put my T scale. Okay, and I'll tell you how to use this T scale. You can see the T scale. So on the T scale, you'll see there is this left part and the right part together. This forms a T. And no, it is a fixed joint. It is not movable. It cannot rotate or it cannot, fold. It is a fixed piece. And therefore, this edge and this edge is at 90 degrees. So when we put it around a table, when we put it aligned to a side, an edge, this line that we draw, horizontal line, is perpendicular to the edge of the table. Okay. And therefore, we have to ensure that we use only one edge of the table. And so when we move our T scale, aligning to the edge, and we move our, T scale like that, this left edge, of the T part of the table, the T scale or T square is always aligned. So we have to ensure that the T square is like this and it is not like this. You can see at this edge, the entire edge of the T has to touch the table. It has to move along the table. That is when, any number of lines that I draw here will come parallel to each other. Okay. So therefore, we have to ensure that we use only one edge of the table. Now, when the table is being constructed, it may happen that the left edge and the right edge of the table may not be exactly parallel to each other. There may be even a slightest difference of 0.1 mm or 0.2 mm will cause that error. So we cannot use the T scale from either sides. In fact, we should not use it, like this also. We should not put it perpendicular to the other edge. Okay, because the edges may not exactly be at 90 degrees. They may be like, 89.95 degrees or 90.05 degrees. That kind of error also we try to avoid. We should not have any form of error. Therefore, we say that, we should be sticking to only one edge. Now, being left-handed, you may prefer to go using the right edge if you have a T scale that is meant for left-handed people, or if you're using a parallel bar. In that case, the parallel bar moves along the entire table. So in that case, you can put your sheet anywhere on the table, but closer to you. Okay, while we are using T scale, it has to be closer to the left, because as you go farther from the left, there are more chances of error. So when you can see, I don't know whether you're able to see this part. So the farther you put the force, you will see that the T scale will move because of the force. So if you're putting a pencil and you're moving it, because of the pencil, the instrument will move. So you have to hold, at the left hand, you have to hold the instrument very tightly. Okay. So you ensure that you're pushing towards the left. While pushing towards the left, you are not pushing, too much that the table itself will move. Just ensuring that the edge is properly aligned, from end to end, the T scale is touching the edge. And then when you draw a line, this is ensuring that the T scale is not moving. But if you are slightly light at holding the T scale, this may force you to move. This we are trying to avoid. Therefore, we are putting our sheet as left as possible. Okay. In structures, we will learn about this. This effect is torque. Force applied at a certain distance from a fixed point will cause the torque. Will cause it to move around a point, and we are trying to avoid that. Okay. So we put our sheets closer to the left edge and closer to the edge close to you. Okay, so we will not put our sheet exactly at the bottom also. We cannot put it like this, or we cannot put it like this, because the bottommost line that we have to draw, we have to put our T scale here. Now, if I put my T scale here, the entire edge is not getting covered. Okay, so we have to put our sheet a little above. We'll have to put our sheet in such a way that even if we have to draw a line at the bottom of this, the T scale is getting aligned to it. Okay, so we have to put our sheet somewhere like this. Okay, this is the ideal position of putting the sheet. And again, now when you have finalized the position of the sheet, we put our T scale position and we ensure that the sheet is parallel, almost parallel to the T scale. Okay, it is okay if the border is there is very slight variation from the edge, it is okay. But when we are fixing up the sheet, very much horizontal it should be. very much aligned it should be. Or if it is not, you can hold the paper and you can move the paper. You can see. Okay, so you move the paper and you align it to the edge. Okay, and preferably we align one of the edges. You try to go down and you may try to align the bottom edge. It may happen that the two edges of the paper are not parallel. Okay, so you don't have to struggle so much. Just align the top edge, because when we look at a drawing, it is mostly the content and the foreground to it that comes into picture. And also we draw the margins around it, so it is taken care of. So you have to align to one of the edges, and after you have aligned, we fix the sheet. Okay, and the method to fix the sheet is, we do not use Fevicol because we have to take out the sheet also. Okay, so we go for Scotch tape. Okay, so you'll see there are many types of tapes which are there in the market. You can buy. This is called Scotch tape. The other tape is what do we call it? Carpenter's tape. That's Carpenter's tape. There is one. What do we? There is a word for it. Sellotape. Okay, so what happens is, sellotape is not very easy to tear, but Scotch tape is easy to tear. You can tear it without any extra instrument. See, while we are working, we have to avoid touching too many things. So the minimum number of things that are engaged in drawing is the best. Okay, that is also one reason we
Guys, is it clear or it gets stuck for you guys? Can you see it? There's network problem at all of us.
इधर नहीं रुके फिर हैंड उसके ऊपर करने से नहीं तो अपना कंफर्ट में मैं चेंज कर रहा हूँ बट ब्रेक
Is it fine now? Now can you see the screen and Sir's voice? Guys, please reply. Are you able to hear us?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay.
अभी आने वाला है जो pencil sharp करेंगे तो.
Yeah, Vivek sir, you can continue.
So it's telling you, what we do is we put our sellotapes at the four corners of the sheet, and we put our tape at the corner like that. Okay, and just before, just after we have aligned our sheet, we do this. We ensure that this is fixed. Okay, and I have been telling this to my students all the time, but they come up with very innovative ways of their own. So what I have seen is, some students, see, ultimately after the sheet is complete, this has to be taken out. The sheet has to be taken out. So what the students do is, the ease of taking out the sheet is in not putting the tape in the front. Okay, so what they do is they fold the tape like this. Okay, so it becomes like a two-way tape, and then they put it at the bottom. Okay, this is what they have done, but what I have observed is, this ensures that the sheet is there, but it does not ensure the rigidity, the fixed. It's not very fixed to its position. It is still free to move if it is put like this. Okay, so I don't suggest that you put your tape like this. Instead, you put it the way I have put it here at the two corners. I'll continue in the other two corners also. Yes, you have to put the tape like this and fix it. Okay. Sometimes people try to, minimize the area. They put tape at a very little place, but then, what happens is the sheet comes out of the tape. Okay, because the Scotch tape is not very sticky, unlike the cello tape. Okay, so this is Scotch tape, and what we use is a pencil. Okay, use pencil for a sharp pencil to draw a line. So I'll tell you how do we sharpen the pencil. We do not use a sharpener.
You can speak, but you can't start the video once.
Okay. So we have a cutter here, and preferably when you are using a cutter, use a separate cutter for sharpening the pencil than the cutter that is used for other purposes like model making or for cutting sheets. Okay, so two cutters. And in fact, this cutter is available in many sizes. There is a smaller version of this, and this is the larger version. Okay, so usually we go for the smaller version to cut the pencil, but right now we got this bigger one only, and we'll be using this. Okay, so there are also cutters where we cannot, control how much, it is not very fixed. Okay, so we have to buy one which locks itself. Okay, so this cutter has the provision to lock after a certain size, and we should not have a very, long part of cutter out. The long blade should not be out, because then it is not very easy to control. Okay, because this is not very fixed. This is very flexible. Okay, so the other thing is, when you are sharpening the pencil, don't do this closer to your sheet. Whatever is coming out of the pencil will go onto the sheet. So we suggest that you do the sharpening away from your table and away from others' table also. Okay. So I'll tell you, sharpening the pencil is the work of patience. Okay, and I remember when we were in college, our seniors have taught us sharpening the pencil. And I don't know if somehow my seniors see this video, they will understand how much they have contributed to this. In fact, if you were in college, your seniors would have taught you how to do this. And sometime in future, you will also guide your juniors how to do this. Okay, so we do it very little by little. Now, if we are not very patient, if we put too much pressure at once, it will cut through the entire graphite, and that is not intended. We try to remove the wood little by little. Okay, so this is an HB pencil, and which end to be cut or sharpened. Okay, so we try to remove from one of the edges, and little by little, and you'll see that the amount of wood that we are removing is almost a little more than 1 inch. Okay, so remove very little at a time, and as you take it out, move little by little, and keep rotating the pencil so that you are moving from all directions equally. Okay, you can see this is very fine, very thin slices of wood chiseling out. Okay, and you will see that this size is more. If you sharpen using a sharpener, the way the sharpener sharpens is it rotates around the graphite. So if you understand the structure of graphite is very slippery. So it is not it is not in the right form. It is suggested that you do it like this, because in that case the lead stays in its position for a long time. Okay, and it is very stiff. It remains stiff. Okay, so you can see it is very thin, and I'm also consistently rotating the pencil. It's not happening at the same position. It is moving. Okay, I'll just show how thin this is. So this is a very, very thin strip like that. Okay, and we have to remove very thin strips like that. Very thin slices. And keep rotating. Ultimately, we have to form a cone, okay, with a tip at the end. And you have to be patient. And this is time to enjoy also. You have to understand every material. Okay, so good quality pencils have good quality wood, and that will be smooth to do this. The brand or the quality of the pencil is not very good, the process of doing this will not be very smooth. Okay. Okay, so you'll see that I have just found the edge of the graphite, and you will see that I am almost uniform from all sides. Okay, so this will ensure that the final product that I get is proper cone. Okay. A little extra pressure and suddenly you will take out too much from here, and you have to avoid all that. So you see now I am slicing some part of graphite also while I am doing this. Okay, so you'll see the amount of wood which is there is right enough. If I do any more slicing, you'll see there is too much lead and there is too little wood. In that case, the wood will not hold on to the lead. Okay, so now this is enough, of the wood that we have removed. Now we'll just sharpen the end of it, and we are doing it very carefully here to ensure that we are getting perfect cone at the end. Okay, this kind of a pencil does not break very easily, and it's ideally suited for drawing. I'll tell you, when we draw lines, you will see that the lines that we draw are uniform. Okay, otherwise the pencil sharpened using a sharpener will lose graphite very fast, and therefore it will not give uniform lines. Okay. Okay, so I think we are done. So we have got a pencil which is sharp, and we will see, we have to draw in a way that we do not lose sharpness very frequently, or otherwise we'll have to sharpen it very frequently. Okay, because you have to draw lines which are uniformly thin or uniformly thick. Okay, so we'll move to the drawing sheet. Okay, also sometimes, people will suggest that you use sandpaper with you. So you can, move the pencil over the sandpaper to give the uniform thickness around it. So that is also, optional. With sandpaper comes an extra instrument, an extra tool, extra surface. So that is not advisable. And usually after sharpening the pencil, you should wash your hand so that all the things which are there on your hand does not go onto the paper. Okay, so I'm not going for that right away, but usually you should do that. Okay, so also your palm would be mostly wet because of some moisture will be there, the sweat and all, but it will be very sticky. So you have to avoid all that. Your instrument gets sticky and then it sticks, and a lot of other things get stick to it. Okay, so that is one of the reasons. Okay, so I'll tell you. So you can see on this T scale, we have the markings here. Okay, and this is in centimeters. Each centimeter is divided into 10 parts. So that is one distance between two consecutive lines is 1 mm. Okay. Now this in the morning when we were talking about these pens, the graphic pens, the technical pens, the rotoring pens. Now that is 1/10 of this 1 mm. Okay. If you divide this 1 mm into 10 parts, that is the thickness of line that with that precision it draws that line. Okay, and when we use this those pens with this instrument, if you draw a line, you'll see this bottom surface. If the bottom surface is in touch with paper, the ink that is coming out of the pen will immediately go inside. Okay, so we have to ensure that the T scale that we are using has an inking edge. Okay, now if you see this part, there is a small undulation.
You can see the edge.
Okay, you can see here, there is a small undulation here, small difference. Okay, this lifts the edge of the scale above the sheet. Okay, so right now it may appear that the edge is actually touching the sheet, but actually this is not touching the sheet, which is important. So with pencil, it may not be needed, but when you are using those pens, you will not buy a separate T scale for the pens. No? So when you're buying the T scale, ensure that it already has an inking edge. Okay. This does not have.
Has no? No.
Okay. So I'll tell you a few things. Like I'll tell you how to draw the border. Okay, so let's say we have to draw a line that is at some distance from the top edge. Are we looking at this?
Yes or no?
Okay, so if we have to draw a line, no, let's say we have to draw an outline to this sheet, a margin to this sheet, leaving, let's say, 1 centimeter.
Transfer here. When you start drafting, again I'll come back. Pencil drafting, rotating and all this.
Okay. Okay. So we have to draw a line here, and that line has to be at certain distance from the edge. Okay. So when we are drawing a line at some distance from the edge, how do we know that this T scale is at that distance from the edge? You know, we do not have any way to measure how distant is our T scale from the edge. Okay. So what do? Is we draw a line here, and then we measure along that line. Okay, it is important to draw a line. We cannot simply put an instrument and say that it is 1 centimeter. Okay, let's say we are drawing a line 1 centimeter from this. So we cannot simply just put our instrument and say that, okay, this is 1 centimeter. Okay, so first step is to draw a line. So we draw a very light line. Okay, this light line has to be so thin that only you are able to see it and no one else sees it. Are you able to see the line? Ideally, you should not be able to see it. Only I should be able to see. And this. Okay, are you able to hear now?
Yes, sir, your voice is clear.
Or should we put the speaker? Okay. So I have drawn a very fine line, and because this line is not a part of the drawing, therefore it should not be visible. No, in fact, I have drawn it dark enough for me to acknowledge it. Okay, this line is very fine line. Okay, and because of streaming and all, also it may happen that you're not able to see this line. So anything that is not an important part of the drawing has to be very light, and it has to be light because we are not going to use any eraser on this. Okay, we are avoiding eraser is because eraser sticks to the sheet, it sticks to the instrument, and then it will start absorbing all the dust impurities around this. So we have to avoid eraser as much as possible. If there is no alternative, we will have to erase things, but usually we do not erase anything. So I have drawn a light line, and I will measure 1 centimeter on it. Okay, so I will put my I can put a ruler here, or I can put a set square. Right now I have a set square. I will not put my T scale here. Okay, so I put here, I align my instrument in such a way that one of the edges markings, for example, here 9 centimeter is at the edge. So 10 centimeter is the point. Okay, now when I'm marking the point 10 centimeter, I'll mark a very fine point. Okay, I'll tell you what is the opposite of fine point. I may make something like, like this. This is very clear. And we are avoiding this. We do not want unwanted things on our sheet. So we will not have this kind of a marking. We will have a very fine marking. This marking is there, which you are not able to see. And that is the purpose. That is the intention. Unwanted things are not, something that is not a part of the drawing should not be there on the sheet. Okay, so this point which I have marked, it should be so fine line that when I draw a horizontal line through it, it should get absorbed in that line. Okay, so I will just align my T scale in such a way that the T scale is at that point. Now there is a point and there is T scale, and now I will draw a horizontal line through it. Okay, so I'll draw this line, and you will see that this line passes through. Okay, so you'll see that I have drawn a light line passing through this point. Okay, and it is a very fine line. It has to be a fine line because this is not the final line. Okay, final line is when everything is planned. Everything is associated with this line is fixed. For example, where should it start? Where should it end? If that thing is clear, only then we can draw the final line. So this is not a final line. When it is not a final line, it should not be dark. It should not be of any intensity. Okay, so I'll draw a few more lines, and when I'm drawing these lines, I'll tell you what I am exactly doing. Okay, so I have not marked any point here, but I'll just draw a few lines for, for your reference. Just see how I am holding the instruments. Okay, you'll see that my hand, my left hand is holding the T scale to ensure that it is touching the edge. Okay, and my thumb is holding the T scale so that this movement of the T scale can be avoided. Okay, so it is pushing the T scale from left to right, and my thumb is putting the force from the top to ensure that the T scale does not move like this. Okay, one hand itself will ensure that this happens. Now, when the sheets are bigger, it may happen that you have to hold it at the farther end also like this, and then hold it like this and then draw a line. It may require you to hold it like this when the sheets are bigger. Okay, but usually now when you're starting, you will be starting with 80 sheets here. At home also when you're working, so it will be enough to hold from one hand and draw from the other. Okay, so I'm holding it at the left edge. I am putting it, force through my thumb, and then I draw a line. And when I'm drawing a line, see, if I draw a line like this, I draw a line, what will happen is the sharpness of the pencil will go on. For example, if I rub this over a surface many times, you'll see that the point of the pencil will become blunt. It will become a circle. Now, right now it is a point, but it will become a circle after repeated, friction with paper. So I should draw lines in such a way that I'm rotating the pencil. So by rotating the pencil will, it will get thinner from all sides. So it will uniformly be losing its graphite. So it will maintain its sharpness. That is the intention. Okay, so when I'm drawing the line, I will rotate the pencil. I'll rotate the pencil. Okay, that is one of the reasons the pencil should be perfectly coned, so that the rotation is possible. Okay, you'll see when I'm drawing the line, I am almost completing one rotation from one end to the other end. Okay, and you'll see that these are very fine lines, very very thin lines, and very light lines. The darker lines will come when they are final lines. Okay, so I'll just draw a few more lines. Just look at the way the pencil is rotating. Okay, so it will go from one end to the other end, and it is simply just rotating. So it is not held with a lot of pressure. It is held at very very light hand. It is held with very light hand, but it is held with control. Okay, that you are able to rotate. It should not be so lightly held that it falls off on its own. Okay, so you'll see that I am drawing few lines. I'll draw a few more lines. Just observe. Okay, and it does not mean when you have to rotate, you have to become too slow. You have to do that in a flow. And because these are light lines, it does not matter. Okay, when you are drawing the final lines, these lines will be even more, final, dark. So they will be of with more precision. Okay, I'll just draw a few more lines. I think you'll need these, Sandeep. और बड़ा साइज भी करना है कि आप छोटा भी करना है. Okay. So these are all horizontal lines, and all horizontal lines can be drawn using a T-scale. But when to draw a vertical line or any inclined line, you will need a set square. Okay, so these are set squares. You'll see these set squares have, in fact, this is a good one where there is 1 centimeter, centimeter markings on one side and inches on the other. So this can be used anywhere. And similarly, this 3060 can also be used anywhere because it has both the units on the same scale. While there are few brands which only have centimeters on one and inches on the other. So we need that small ruler, which is usually a plastic ruler and not a very good quality acrylic ruler. So okay, we prefer buying instruments which have both the units. Okay, in fact, some time back we saw students buying instruments without any markings on them, so that they were taking an additional time to switch between the instrument. So they have drawn a line. Now to measure, they will go and bring another instrument, put here, draw, mark the point, put that there, again bring the set square here. So it takes a lot of time. So the minimum number of instruments which are involved will reduce the work. Okay, will reduce the time that is taken to complete the work. Okay, so similarly, like I have drawn 1 centimeter here, I had drawn a line, I had marked 1 centimeter point on that, and then I had drawn a line. Similarly, now I have to draw a vertical line. So I will find out where, at what all points do I have to mark, draw vertical lines. So I will measure. Now to measure along this line, I can use my T-scale itself. So I'll put my T-scale, I will align it to the line, and I'll mark 1 centimeter. And understand that this mark has to be very fine. It has to be very fine. It should not be, visible through naked eyes. It should appear like nothing is there. And only when I draw a line through it, then it will be complete. It will completely lost. Lose its identity. Okay, so you can see when I'm drawing a vertical line, this line should come from bottom to top, or top to bottom. So what should happen is we have to put our T-scale in such a position that the entire thing can be drawn. Therefore, the sheet has been put at this distance. Okay, this is 5 centimeter, the T-scale. So this is around 6 to 7 centimeter. The sheet is around 7 centimeter from the edge of the table. Okay, so I'll draw a vertical line. In fact, we should prefer to use instrument that should draw the entire length of the drawing. We should not draw in two parts, but in one go we should be able to draw the entire line. Again, rotate the pencil while you are drawing this. Okay, so it's a very fine line. Okay, and it will not be visible. It will not be visible means one thing is, from camera it's not very visible, but through naked eyes, it is just very thin, very fine. And when you are darkening it, only then it will be visible. Okay, I'll draw maybe a few more lines. I'll just draw randomly few lines here. So you'll see. Okay, this is how we draw. So convenience is, to draw from bottom to top. If we are drawing in the left part of the sheet, if we are drawing on the right part of the sheet, it is not very convenient to draw from bottom to top. In that case, it has to be from top to bottom, and the instrument should be in such a way that the pencil is on the right side. Okay, so in the left part, the pencil can go from bottom to top, and in the right side, the pencil should be coming from top to bottom. But all horizontal lines, they are drawn from left to right. Left to right. Maybe for lefties, it will be from right to left. But otherwise, it is always from top to bottom and left to right. Okay, so again, it has to be held very lightly, and the lines should be drawn. Okay, you'll see I am always rotating the pencil, and if I am not putting too much pressure, the friction is very less, and the amount of graphite lost is less. Therefore, the sharpness stays for a longer time. Okay, so this is giving almost, like a grid. I'll tell you how to draw some angular lines. Okay, so if we have to draw lines at 45 degrees, we understand this is a 45 degree set square, 45 degree, 45 degree, and 90 degrees. So if we have to draw a 45 degree line, making 45 degree, with x-axis, it will be easy. I just draw a line like that. Okay. But if we have to make 45 degree with the negative x-axis, no, then it will be like this. I have to put the instrument like this, and no separate instrument is needed. Same instrument, we can draw 90 degrees from both sides. Okay, or we can say this is 135 degree. Okay, so sometimes it will be there, that there is already an existing line, and on that line there is a point. There is a point, and through this point, this set square has to be used. So what happens in this case? See, we are drawing a line, but the instrument is at a certain distance from the point. Okay, and this will come only with practice. At what distance do you put your instrument that when you draw a line, the line passes through that point? Okay, so this comes only with practice. Otherwise, your line will be, slightly off the point, which should not happen. Okay, I am sure you are not able to see any of these lines. Okay, fine, no problem. I'll tell you about the other, how to draw the other angles. So we have a 30-60 degree. When we have to draw 30-degree line, we put it like this. Should I draw? Okay. So when I have to draw a 30-degree line, I'll put, and I will not start from the point. Okay. See, I have to draw a line passing through the point. So I will not start from here. I will start from somewhere, but it will pass through it. Okay. Like that. And it has to rotate. Rotation is important. Okay. So this is 30 degree. If I have to draw 60 degree, okay, now this 30 degree towards right was like this. Towards left, you can simply put it like this and draw 30 degree. Okay. And 90 degrees you can draw, we have already seen 90 degrees, and we can draw 60 degrees. So if you have to draw 60 degrees to right, this would be the point. Okay. Now you put the set square like this, and if you put it like this, we'll draw 60 degree to the left. And just see how the pencil rotates. Okay, so you'll see there is 30 degree, there is 45 degree, there is 60 degree. And what other angles can we draw? Any idea? Okay, you will learn this in other classes. So you'll see that all the lines that I have drawn are very thin and very fine lines. The purpose is to draw the final line only when you are absolute about what the length or what is the amount of line that you have to draw. Okay, for example, now all the lines are light, and now I will demonstrate one drawing a final line. Okay, so in fact I'll draw a square 5 by 5. Okay, I'll be very quick. I'll put my instrument here. I already have a line, or otherwise I would do is I would draw a line. Okay, so I would draw a line, and I'll measure 5 centimeter on this. Okay, so starting from 11 and ending on 16 is 5 centimeter. Okay, now I have drawn two ends, and I have to remember that these are here because these are very fine. Okay, I'll draw vertical lines. So I have fixed my T scale at the end, and I have fixed my T scale with my other hand, and I have aligned my set square. And I'm just drawing some vertical lines here. So from both the points, I have drawn vertical lines. Now, ideally, what we would do is we will measure 5 centimeter here and then draw a line. But we also know that in case of a square, the diagonal, the diagonal passes through the opposite vertices. Okay, so if I draw just a diagonal, the point where this diagonal intersects with the other line is already 5 centimeters. So I don't have to measure over time. Efficiency is also important. This is how you save time, is by drawing a square 5 by 5 with minimum change in instrument, with minimum time, and with minimum measurement. Okay, so I have measured 5 centimeter only once. I have drawn lines, and I have drawn lines, and I have drawn lines, and I have finished the square. Okay, now after I have drawn and I know where where the length starts, where the length ends, so I can draw the final lines. Okay, so I'll draw the final line. You'll see now I have to draw with utmost patience that the line starts from the point and it ends at the point. Okay. Okay, so you'll see that this is a line on top of the lighter line. Okay. Similarly, I'll draw the other edges. So what I'm doing is I'm completing all the horizontal lines first, and then I'll change the instrument, and then using only that instrument, I'll complete the vertical lines. So this is also saving time. If I switch from T scale to set square, then again from set square to T scale, then again from T scale to set square, it will take time. So I have drawn all the horizontal lines. Now I'm drawing all the vertical lines, starting from the point and ending at the point. We should not go outside the point. We should not cross over. Okay. Initially, when you start, you may make these mistakes, like you're not starting from the point, or you're not ending exactly at that point. Okay, these kind of mistakes you'll make in the beginning, but over time you'll understand, and all these errors will be sorted. Okay, so this is a 5 by 5 square. You can see some graphite there. Okay, now it is cleaner now. Okay, that was it. Now,
Guys, if anybody noted here, how much time does Vivek sir took to draw a square of 5 by 5?
1
Can you
minute.
type it in the comment box, please?
no, that was also including the instructions that I have to give.
My point is supposed to be patience. Can you comment it, please? Can you comment inside the box? 1 minute. Anybody think it is more than 1 minute or less than 1 minute?
See, in a hurry, if you have to draw. Okay, usually what would happen is when we are drawing, ideally what someone will prefer is directly draw a final 5 centimeter line, and then draw another, put a set square, draw another 5 centimeter line like that. Okay, but that, in that case, you will compromise with the accuracy. Okay, we do not want to have any, compromise, but also we want to maintain a speed, so we can use the instruments efficiently. What I'll do is I'll draw another square. Okay.
But measure from now, from first point to everything, not just the final square, everything that is for constructing a square, how much time sir takes. Okay, Vivek sir, your time starts now.
Okay, so I'm drawing a horizontal line, and this is light line because I am measuring. So I'll mark 2 points at 20 centimeter and 25 centimeter. So this is 5 centimeter. Now I will draw vertical lines passing through these. So always we'll have this kind of an intersection forming, because the lines that I am drawing is not starting from these points, but they are starting from somewhere and passing through these points. That is important. We need to have these crossovers. Slight mistake. Okay, let's look at this mistake. Okay, what I have made here is, this line is not exactly passing through the point. Okay, in that case, the square that I draw will be, like 5.1 centimeter. So therefore, that it becomes even more important, the patience, that you have to draw the line only when you are certain that when you move the pencil, it passes through that point. Okay, so I'll complete this square. I'll draw a diagonal. Now I can draw the diagonal in one direction, or I can draw it in the other direction. Okay. So I find that this is the point of intersection, and I don't have to highlight it to show it to someone. When 3 lines pass from the same, it will automatically be visible. Okay, now I'll just darken these. So whether I'm drawing a light line or a dark line, I have to ensure that the pencil is rotating. again very conscious. Okay, so I don't know how much time it took.
Comment, guys, please.
48 seconds.
Start from -2, minus, you can minus 10% of it for explanation. 20%. Okay. So 60 seconds it took to draw the square.
48 seconds.
48 seconds. Okay, interesting.
1 minute. Okay.
So let's see. You should draw it patiently, guys. Even it's the smallest square, simple circle.
And you should ensure, like, even when you are darkening, all the lines should be of uniform intensity. They should be uniformly thick or uniformly dark. Okay, 4 edges are there. If first 2 lines that you have drawn are thin, and after that the pencil has gone blunt, and then you are drawing the other 2 lines, it will be very clear. It will appear like those 2 edges are representing something else, while these 2 edges are representing something else. The purpose of having uniformity is to convey that they all represent the same thing. Okay. Some more types of lines like dot lines, dash lines.
Yeah, I think let them practice this rotating and pencil. So just ask them to start practicing.
Okay. Should we move to the next?
Yeah, keep them.
Okay, so this was about
Guys,
drawing
so
lines.
present state of mind, if whenever you get the tool in your hand, start practicing. Basic thing is you have to understand the tools that you have in your hand. That is T-scale, set square, and pencil and paper. Let's see what you can do with it. Practice the rotating. Make sure you sharpen the pencil properly, and let's see what happens. Prithvi Naik has a question to take. You can 1 second. Then I have to make it hearable. 1 sec, please.
Should I switch it?
Switch on. Switch it on. Yeah, sorry.
Do I have to switch to this?
Can you repeat your question? Can you repeat your question, please?
Can you show this with using parallel bar?
Parallel bar is like
It's like a
take that.
okay, we can
Take it here. 1 sec, 1 sec. We'll be done. Can you see
it's on, huh?
no. Can you see the drawing here? Yes. There is a parallel bar here that is going up.
Okay, so in a parallel bar, you'll see that the instrument is already fixed to the edges. Okay, at the edges. So what happens is you do not have to hold it. Like, you need to you don't hold it from the end. So your hands are both the instrument is not held properly, with the strings. If it is not holding the instrument properly, then there are chances that there may be some errors. Okay, so you will see that at the
Strings are behind you.
the strings are at the rear side. There are also, the reason is this has to be fixed to a surface. So what happens is if it is already fixed at your home, you cannot bring this to college. Okay, so in that case, T-scale is better because T-scale is portable. You can bring it and you can take it anywhere. Well, this has to be fixed to one setting. Okay, So that is how parallel bars are different from T scale. In this case, this is a small setup. There are bigger T scale parallel bars, and bigger parallel bars are even more, to ensure that they are held efficiently at the edges is even more difficult. Okay, so in
Sir,
this case,
but
we only hold it from the center and we move it like that. So any line that we draw, all of them will be parallel lines. Okay, like that. Okay, wherever you draw. Fine. Move it.
excuse me, sir.
Are we okay with that? Can we continue?
Yes, sir, but you had only told me not to buy the T scale. You should buy the parallel bar because I'm left-handed.
So buy it, man. What is the problem with parallel bar? What is the parallel problem with parallel bar?
Nothing, sir. Can I buy both of them? Can only one?
Yeah, you buy parallel bar and you have to buy another parallel bar for college.
Okay, sir.
If you come to college. Are you clear about this?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. I'm done.
The T scale is not going to work for you, man.
Okay, okay, sir.
Yeah? Shall we continue?
Okay, continue, sir. Thank you, sir.
Thank you. For now, it is nothing much to talk. Just see what's happening with it. Is somebody counting the time?
Yes, one of you should start the timer. So how much time did that take? 1 minute 15 seconds.
Let's start again.
1 minute 43 seconds. Okay, start again.
Tell me when 1 minute 43 seconds is finished. We couldn't hear you actually. Just you need to comment.
Comment when it is already 1 minute 45 seconds.
Hmm?
It's going out the screen.
I think that is for now. Guys, this is other part of the story that we would like to tell you is lettering. Fancy lettering, yes, you have to reach there someday, you have to do it, but it starts with basic. The alphabets are as simple as this. Once you fancy that, you can create your own fancy ones and create your own lettering for yourself. The idea is consistency here. Whatever I written A here, and whenever I write this A again, it will be exactly same. However, I write J here and everywhere else, not because of my mood, not because of my interests and not interest, it should not change. So it should become my language. So how your line's supposed to work perfectly, your square's supposed to be working that by looking at it, we know we have this is drafted by you and perfectly done. The same way, the second part is lettering. This is something that we'll practice. I'm not saying you should start right now. We'll tell you the tips and tricks for how do you get this. That is actual course. But just giving an introduction about these tools are for us to make these. And remember, if you observe, without those guidelines, I could have not achieved this. If I start write it without any guidelines and roughly, yeah, I can achieve it right now as much as possible because of my experience right now. You give 10 years to yourself, you also do that. But still, there will be some mistake somewhere. But these guidelines are really helping me to get that consistency. At least from what I'm looking from my camera, I can say at least the first ABCDs or second ABCDs. Would anybody agree to me if I pack myself and say, it looks like printed, is it? On my camera screen, it looks like printed. Does it look for you also?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Thank you very much. I wish everybody will reach to this level definitely very soon. It is just simple. Am I teaching how to write A, B, C, D, E? No. I'm just asking you to be patient. So people were so happy that I finished my A to Z in 15 seconds, 20 seconds, and all. So now compete in such a way that it took me 1 hour to write A to Z. So you are respecting each and every vertical line, each and every horizontal line, each and every curve, breaking the curve into multiple parts and slowly finishing it. Inclined lines are there. Appreciate each and every letter. It's like a beauty, right? You appreciate part of the family, you know. If C works one way, Q and O doesn't work should work the same way. If G should work one way, the C should work in the same part right now. I, L, M should also go like that, and M and N should go like that. Q and O will have partners. So try to understand A, M, N should look like they have almost same inclination. So, anyways, we'll come back to that. So this is where you have to reach, and all you need is to reach here and here. Obviously, we'll tell you all the tips and tricks to follow, the rules you have to follow. But without patience, the hurriness to finish the job is never going to get you the skill forever. First mistake and only mistake is patience. If you come with patience to learn this skill, we will tell you all the skills, extra tips, and everything. We can push you 10 years from now. What we are right now, you can be today, tomorrow morning. Only that if you confidently come to us and say, sir, I have all the patience, teachers. Because that I can't, if you don't have it, I can't transfer my knowledge to you right now, my skill to you.
And in fact, a lot of your seniors have picked up. Okay, many students, they have grasped this very fast and they have developed skills very fast. Many, in fact, your immediate seniors, the people who are in second year and first year, they picked up very fast. Okay, in the first semester itself, they were, producing this quality of work. So, and you don't have to be like, an artist already to learn these things, simply follow the instructions that have been given. If you simply follow that you have to start from a point, the line should pass through the point, should not start from the point, but pass through a point, that kind of a specific, having proper intersections. When you're drawing darker lines, giving uniform pressure to produce line of uniform type, you know, just simple instructions. And when you're careful with these instructions, your work will automatically turn out good. Okay, so there is no art here. It is simply your dedication to
Sorry, guys, can you hear us? Nothing, we would just cut suddenly in between. Anyways,
Yes, sir.
okay. Thank you very
Yes,
much.
sir.
All the best. Do practice and make sure you get the tools right as soon as possible. Monday, we are starting the actual course, so you should be having these tools, especially set square, T scale, drafting board, and basic A3 size sheets at least, and pencils. Other small indicators you can buy it little later also. But these basics are important. Whatever was taught today, any tool that was used today, you should also have it. And yes, and as we said, if I can show you the setup of the entire setting, I'll try to see if I can do that. Can you see what's happening here? So there is a table, there is a camera on top. I mean, you can also try this. There's not much fun. And this last semester we have doing online classes, so I have set up the entire thing for online classes. So, so this has become almost like it's been 6, 8 months, which has become an office kind of thing. But this is a drafting space. What can I do? I can't just make some space somewhere else and do the job for the sake of doing job. So in your house also plan it that way. It's you have my pens, I have pencils, everything is put right. Water is there, sanitizer is there, everything is there in place. It's not like now there is too much wires going today because there are so many utensils that came out. Usually the wires were never a disturbance here; they never come there. But and there is a drafting space on this side. See, my camera is not attached to the table; it attached to other table, so that my movements on the table will not disturb that. So you'll understand all these things. Start creating your workspace. Start acting professional. It'll work out for you. I'm not saying you should have a huge space like this. In my home, if you come to my home also, you'll find the same space, but it is much smaller than this. You just be effective and keep what is needed, what is not needed. So,
I think you should check YouTube videos showing architects' workspaces. In fact, we didn't talk about this part, but architects' sketches are not like sketches of some artists. They are simple sketches like a child has scribbled somewhere, but they are it is the creativity is not in that skill. So there are two parts. There is one skill which is in presentation, while there is a second skill which is the creativity side of it. Okay. So we didn't show you that, but that is also equally important. So if sometime in future, if you do not excel in these skills, it is okay. Because what makes an artist or an architect an artist is the creativity, which at least will come up as you go on, and which is not something that you learn in textbooks. So it is not something that you may you're very afraid that this may not turn out so well. Sir has drawn it so well. I don't think I can do it. I don't have that patience. Don't be afraid. Okay, it just comes with time. You spend time with instruments. You spend time with pencil, with surfaces, and things automatically start getting better day by day.
okay. The only suggestion, if I have to put it in a different way, but put it in a different way, the thing I would like to say is like, imagine I don't know how to draw a square. You are given the right tools, the perfect precision tools, right? And you're telling me you still can't draw a perfect square? You got it, right? I'm not asking you to draw perfect 5x5 freehand. It should be perfect 90 degrees, perfect vertical. No, I said use tools, copy. Basically, this is like copying. In an exam, you'll say, "Dikha thoda," then I'll write it. So this is basically we're giving everything. We're telling you to use tools. Problem is, if you don't use it right, then you will definitely not be able to make the square properly. So please take your time, understand the tools. They are going to here to help you to get a result done. Not if you don't follow the tools what they designed for, then yes, you'll miss out on many things. It's not you that is creating problem here. It's a tool that you're not using properly. So that's why the whole mistake is happening right now. Okay, thank you again. See you, Tata. Recording will be shared. No assignment for today. We are done. This is itself. And we'll start keeping it for you to do whatever you feel like from today's learning. And let's catch up tomorrow morning. Anything that you want to say, you can say. We can finish the meeting.
You concluded the last minute that
Anything you'd like to ask me before we conclude? Hello? Hello? Good night, guys. Good night.
Sir, tomorrow timing.
Sir, tomorrow timing, sir, same as yesterday, sir, same as today, sir, same as Monday, sir.
Sandeep, I have an announcement about tomorrow. So I was asking about today. If you have any doubts or queries, please ask that first. Then we will discuss about tomorrow.
Bolo? Priyanka, ma'am, you take over. It's okay.
Okay, I think we can stop recording in that case. Yeah. So tomorrow morning we have a session by Professor Nandita. She's a guest lecturer. So I request you all to be here by 9:20. Please don't be late. Okay. We have a 1 hour session on communication. So be here at 9:20 sharp.
Okay, ma'am.
Okay. Thank you.
Thank you, ma'am.
Can you
Thank you,
stop
ma'am.
recording?
Pardon me?
Can you stop recording?
Yes, I can.